Alright, welcome back to Axis and Allies 1942 Online. In this video, I'll be moving on to Match 3 Club Teams Season 4. So here we are with the league table. Panzers East will be facing off against Flat Tops for the final round in the group stage, with their captain Chris Griffin, along with their members Flying Wombat, KH2, Kitch, and Wenzel. As you can see, I'm back on Team Allies, where I'll be playing as the United Kingdom. So I'll be finally showcasing myself playing all the separate nations in Axis and Allies on this channel now, which I think is pretty cool. Also, for my solo game, I will be playing as the Axis against Wombat's allies. But for this video, I will be covering the Team Allies game. So yes, you'll have myself as the UK, with Circus Drama as Russia, and Gala as the US, versus Wombat as Germany and Kitch as Japan. Now Kitch in particular has been a top 10 for either the Axis or the Allies within a given ranked season, so this will be some competition for certain. Alright, that's enough noise, let's get on with the game. Alright, UK 1. Yes, I'm playing the UK. My ally Circus Drama as Russia, Steiner as Germany, Kitch as Japan, and then Gala as the US. Panzers East versus Flat Tops. Right, let's take a look at Russia here. Complete standard from Russia: 4 infantry, 2 tanks. 4 infantry to the Caucasus, and then 2 tanks to Russia, of course. Took Ukraine with 2 tanks left. And then took West Russia, suffering 4, so that's definitely below average result there, which is quite unfortunate. And skipped the infantry in Szechuan, so I will have to cover that with my fighter. Left an infantry in Buri, so I will leave my infantry in Burma. Germany bought a bomber, 5 infantry, 1 artillery, and a fighter. A heavier air build from Germany here, for sure. Gives a little bit of respite to Russia. We will see if we can hold West Russia this round. Bomber, infantry, artillery to Italy, and then 4 infantry, 1 fighter to Germany. Took Karelia, stacked it. Killed my destroyer, 17. Took Trans, no units lost. Lost 3 subs and 7. And then took back Ukraine, losing 2 infantry, killing 2 tanks. Okay. Well, there's many things I can do with UK here. I could just do a full standard, 3 infantry and 2 fighters. Or I can do a fleet drop. Or I could do a UK twisted up to apply pressure to Japan and offer a pivot to KJF for the Allies. But ultimately, I think I'm just going to put a fleet drop down and offer the Germans a 58% on Season 7 with an 11 IPC profit. On average, Germany will have a lone bomber left, which I'll definitely take, of course. If I can trade down the German Air Force, I will. Because if Germany wants to buy more planes, that's completely fine. It gives Russia more breathing room. It's less material heading towards Moscow. So with the Allies here, we will be trying to hold West Russia. We're going to offer offer Germany a 60%, I think, on West Russia, assuming Russia kills the infantry in Ukraine. US sends their fighter up, and I send 2 of my fighters to support. It's an IBC negative battle at -15. Both AA guns will be here, so Russia will be shooting at the majority of the Axis planes. We're going to need to take a risk, I think, because Russia 1 was below average. And it's in the fleet down and holding West Russia at the same time would be a massive win. A massive early win for the Allies, I would say. If Germany doesn't take either risk, then that's still good for the Allies, because we can still hold West Russia. Most likely, I think. Maybe. So with that in mind, I will be dropping a fleet in 7 and 3 infantry for India. Since Russia did not put the unit in Szechuan, I cannot kill the battleship on my turn, because the fighter must support the US units in Szechuan. If my fighter's there, I don't see Japan taking that risk, as Germany 1 went pretty well. And Russia 1 went pretty bad, so... I could take a risk and just deploy an 8 and take France instead. Very greedy. I don't think I want to offer a 7v6. I would have to risk a lone bomber against the cruiser. Yeah, I'm not up for that. The plan will be, if this cruiser gets a hit, I think I will sack my bomber off. Take back trans, of course. I'm going to sack the transport so that the US fighter does not need to go to Transjordan. And of course, Sea Zone 61. And that will be it. The only problem the only problem that is going to develop for me is the fact that my carrier will be alone in 33. Yeah, because that fighter has to go to West Russia this turn. Yep, all battles are listed as strong. Good luck to the UK. Beautiful. Oh, beautiful. Excellent. I wanted to keep that bomber. Excellent. Outstanding round from UK. Very nice. Flawless. Bomber's going to go to Yakut because it's iffy whether I can actually... whether the Allies can actually protect my bomber in Kazakh. And Germany deployed their bomber in Italy, so it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and cannot land because it was deployed in Italy instead of Berlin. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can fully move everything out of India here. I mean, I might just leave the AA gun for the sake of it. And yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Yeah, I got 3 infantry, a fighter, and a bomber on Burma. Yep, you cannot argue with perfection there. Germany doesn't really want to hit my fleet here. I don't think Germany really wants to hit a dicey battle in West Russia this early on. Of course, if they take a risk and just win pretty decisively in either, it's just Axis favored. So yeah. Carrier, destroyer, free infantry. Yep, very strong opener from UK there. Very nice. Yep, 31 IPC, that's normally the usual without a France take. Yep, right, that is the end of UK round 1. I'll be back for UK round 2. Alright, welcome back to UK 2 here, the team game. Let's go back to Japan 1 with 3 transports, 3 infantry, pretty standard. All into season 60 in Japan, of course. Took out my cruiser in 61, took Yunnan, no units lost, took out the aircraft carrier in 33. Took Burma, no units lost, took Armway, losing an infantry. Hit Pearl, killing everything but retreated with a bomber fighter, leaving a fighter alive for the US. So we will take that. That's an extra fighter for the US. And took Bury, losing an infantry. So overall, that was a very strong Japan 1 opener. And yeah, the Japanese planes are quite out of position. A double AC purchase for the US and a transport 2 infantry. Of course, all into Sea Zone 11. It's actually worked out pretty well with this, getting that extra fighter. Keeping that extra fighter alive, it's actually pretty nice with this buy. US wants to try out this buy. I've never used it myself, so we'll see how it goes. I took Kwangtung because it was free. And there was no Russian unit in Szechuan. Then sent transport to French West with some planes. And backed off into Kazakh and sent their fighter to West Russia. Yeah, pretty much standard US moves here. Moved to 10 to go threaten to take. Norway did ignore 13. I think US wants to preserve some of their ships because they did do a double AC buy than the usual AC destroyer buy. 4 infantry, 4 artilleries for Russia. 2 and 2 to the Caucasus and Moscow, of course. Took Ukraine, no units lost, and then actually attacked Bello, killing nothing. Okay. Oh well. Yeah, that's 8 more ground for Russia, so that's very nice. And actually chose to leave 2 units here. Not to protect my bomber, but to... yeah, I mean, Japan can't really push through this. So yeah, I do agree with that. 14 infantry for Germany. 2 and 2 to Italy and Karelia, and then 10 infantry to Berlin. Stacked Egypt. Killed the transport in 34. Took Ukraine, no units lost, and then took Archangel, losing an infantry. So yeah, Axis did not like the odds on the fleet or West Russia, so they just played pretty passive. We'll take that, of course. Alright, with the UK here, I'm thinking of 2 infantry, 2 artilleries, a transport, and a fighter. I can take France, it is free. US will then take Northwestern. this infantry, I think. Was he coming down here? US says they will take Northwestern, but I'm not sure if they're taking it from here and still sacking for Norway. I would assume that is the move. And then we'll send this transport down to Africa again. Yeah, Germany's going to explode all over Africa. I can't really stop that. I have to back off. To stop the J3 timing. That's literally why I'm backing off. I could win this, but then Germany also retaliates on both targets. Yeah, I mean, I guess I did offer to put my destroyer in free, but maybe US is just taking Northwestern to keep these units together. I will be trying to take Burma. I'm actually going to air raid Archangel. The reason I'm air raiding Archangel is to preserve the Russian units, of course. Russia can just move in for free. Yep, this will be the attacks. Just hopefully I can kill this unit, and hopefully I don't lose the bomber here. I suppose I could sack a fighter. I would have to decide on combat. We have a 75 to hold West Russia without the US one, so maybe... I don't know, I'll have to decide if I sack my bomber. I don't really want to. I'd rather keep it. Okay. Let's launch it. I don't think I'm missing anything. Yeah, this is free. It's just this battle. And this one. So, good luck to the UK. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, of course. I don't really want to sack my bomber, to be honest. Yeah, so I will sack a fighter for this. I don't think it's worth the bomber. This bomber is so much value, especially if it sits in India for a couple turns. Unfortunate, of course. There's the net loss for allies here, but at least Russia can preserve their units, I guess. Yeah, West Russia is still 60% to hold. And that doesn't include the US fighter at all, so... Very unfortunate, but it is what it is. It's a risk at the end of the day. I'm going to send a tank here. So I have as many units going towards India as possible, if needed. This guy will just sit here for now. Yeah, that's fine. So US will take Northwestern, and that will take out 4 of these planes. So Sidon 8 is safe, and they will probably sack the transport to take Norway. I'm sending the tank here to stop this tank just going after this on its own. Kill the US infantry. We would like to preserve this. The US units in the center of the board are pretty precious. Yeah, transport fighter, infantry to artilleries. Switch to sack, that's fine, good stuff. Yeah, very unfortunate about Archangel, the first air raid and already lose a fighter. That's very painful. Alright, that'll be the end of UK round 2, and I'll be back with UK round 3. Alright, welcome back to UK round 3. Go back to Japan 2. 6 infantry and industry for Manchuria. Of course, all the infantry into Tokyo here. Yep, took Szechuan with a tank blitz. Szechuan with a tank blitz. Took Soviet Far East, took Xinjiang and Szechuan 4-3, took Burma, no units lost, and took Guangdong, no units lost. And just moving their stack towards Moscow here, so there's no real... It's fairly obvious that Japan is going for straight for Russia here to try pry off this West of Russia stack. Alright. 2 transports, 6 infantry, 1 fighter for the US. Of course, all on the eastern coast. Took Morocco and Northwestern for 3. Stacked Zone 13 to threaten the Medshuk. I do assume US will be dealing with that battleship. I think that's what we agreed on, because I couldn't take it out round 1. 7 infantry, 1 artillery for the Russians, of course all into Moscow. Russia had the choice to leave some in Caucasus, but I guess there were just too many Axis planes in range, German planes in range to offer it. I would have seen if it would have been worth try leaving 3 infantry and an AA gun. Because Germany would take it with, well, attack it with a battleship, infantry, artillery, and of course planes. Maybe you'd get lucky and take a plane out. But this is fine also. Took Archangel for 3. Took Ukraine, losing an infantry, killing 2, and then failed Bellow again. That infantry has not only survived, but killed 2 infantry for 3. Very unfortunate for us there. These are the results I'm used to when I try these one-to-one trades. They normally fail and I fail to kill the infantry. Okay. Let's move on to the Germans with 14 infantry. 3 to Italy, 2 to Karelia, and 9 to Berlin. Of course, took the Caucasus for 3, took Anglo Egyptian Sudan, losing an infantry, very nice. Failed Archangel, very, very nice. Failed Northwestern, that's a very good result for us there. And took France, no units lost. Decent amount of hitbacks there for the Allies. 2 failed trades, very nice. Alright, the plan for the UK will be to get 3 infantry, 1 artillery, 2 tanks, and a fighter. Take France, try trade Caucasus for Russia, and attack Burma. Ideally killing both units so I don't need to worry about Japan crossing for whatever reason. I'm going to get some tanks for India, so I've got some spare money. We can hold West Russia. I've done a rough calc at a 50-50 without my planes, so I'm going to move my planes out so I can defend India. And leave like a unit in Persia so I can at least threaten it with an infantry. and tanks and my planes. I don't know if Japan's just gonna all in this, but me moving my planes out of West Russia gives the option for the Allies to flee West Russia if they need, so that Russia can concentrate on wiping out most of the Japanese and I can come in for cleanup. So yeah, that works pretty well. Yep, I think this will be the buy. Yeah, 2 tanks, 1 infantry, and I should have 2 infantry, 1 artillery, and then a spare tank left over from round 1. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, then they have 3 transports in range, so yeah, that's pretty nice. I'm probably going to play this game staying on 3 transports for trades, and just get a plane a turn. Just keep the UK Air Force updated, and increase it every round. Alright. So, Burma, of course, I would prefer to take the territory, but what matters is killing both units. Japan cannot cross over and try trade trans or something over here. I'm going to commit 2 infantry, well, 2 fighters, 1 infantry here. Of course, let's take artillery, tank, 2 infantry. Hit France. I could go in without a plane, send it to West Russia, but like I've just said, leaving West Russia empty this turn will allow the Allies to flee from West Russia if they need to. If Japan just all stacks Kazakh, I think that's the correct choice. And it also gives me an extra attacker on France, so it's more likely, more guaranteed now that I do conquer. So, assume US will move into 15. Oh yeah, blitz. Maybe take and kill the battleship. US has 5 fighters in range. If I conquer this, if I conquer on this on my turn, the American bomber can actually get in range as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I guess I could. Maybe I do overcommit to capture. Let me see the odds, because I do want to leave a unit in here, but if I capture, I'm going to need to block Kazakh at the same time. Yeah, I would have to see if I can get away with that, because then I wouldn't. I would need to leave someone here, so they can't trade this for free. I'm gonna calculate my odds again. Right, I think I am willing to overcommit to take Caucasus here, because yeah, India's a 71 to hold. Just adding what I've bought and 2 extra planes. This infantry can go here, and this artillery can stay put if I need them to. Unless I commit the artillery instead, I don't mind doing that. So the artillery's safe and can still pressure Kazakh, and just in case I don't kill both of these units, then Japan can't come across and just kill my artillery, and I'll just have an infantry sitting in Persia. I think I am happy with that result, because then if let's say I take this flawlessly, then I have an infantry artillery on Ukraine as well, trade for Russia, and then the Allies are looking pretty good. Yep, gotta make sure that Russia stays nice and strong. All right, let's launch this. Launch these attacks. They are all strong. Yep. All right. Good luck to the UK. Okay, that hurts, but at least I took the territory there. Beautiful. All right, excellent stuff there. Very nice. Active axis, but that's fine. Succeeded all attacks. I will back off. All right, very nice round from UK there, definitely. Yeah, I will block because then it stops Japan from crossing over and trying to flip Caucasus themselves with a tank and a bomber. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm just gonna keep my fleet together. So the US doesn't need to send any support. I don't know if the US will be sacking a transport to take Norway. If it comes to round 4 and the US has not taken this yet, I'll probably move and take it myself. Because we need to clamp down on as much income as possible, because Germany's going to make a lot of money because they're just going to blow up into Africa here. So we're going to start chipping away at this at some point and clamping down. Yep, well, this is the US's responsibility now, so we'll see what they will do here. This submarine, 52. I guess. I don't really like sending it up, but I might as well just apply pressure where I can. I do want to get this sub eventually over this way. But if that destroyer follows me, then I'm going to get backed off to the north. I've switched to sack bomber before tanks, just in case. $35 IBC for the UK here. 1 AP point below axes after UK turn. I think that's on track to equal out the income. Though that's not going to be true with Germany here. Yeah. So I need US to deal with this for me. I literally can't do anything myself. Alright, that is the end of UK round 3, and I'll be back with UK round 4. Alright, welcome back to UK round 4. Back to Japan 3 here, with 9 infantry, 1 fighter. Fighter to Sea Zone 62, with 3 infantry to Manchuria and 6 infantry to Japan. Took Vologda. For 3, took Nova with a tank blitz. Yeah, took Burma. Failing. Actually, no, failed. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, losing an infantry. I lost an infantry. Japan lost 2 infantry. Retreating with a fighter, so I'll definitely take that. It's quite unfortunate for Japan there. Yeah. Pretty nice result for me. Took Kazakh. Losing an infantry. And took Ivenki. No units lost. Interesting. Yeah, Japan backed off the 62, which I wasn't expecting. Still worried of me wiping out the Japanese fleet and then Allies switching to a KGF. There are pivots that can be done if Allies retake the canal and US passes through for the 34. I guess Japan was worried about that. Fair enough. Free transport, 7 infantry for the US. Of course, all on the eastern coast here. Blitzed Algeria and took Libya for free. Took Southern Europe and then killed the battleship in 16. No units lost. That was very nice. But failed Vologda, losing an infantry, and the tank that Japan blitzed survived. 8 infantry for Russia. 4 and 4 to the Caucasus and Moscow. Took Novo back for free. Failed to take Ukraine. Killing 2 infantry, losing 2 infantry and artillery. That's a bit painful, that. Took Bello. Finally taking Bello. After Russia overcommitted and losing an infantry. Took back Vologda. Killing the tank, no units lost, and then took back Kazakh, no units lost, and gave up West Russia. Russia had the choice to either hold it again or back off and trade around Moscow again. I think either option was fine. Germany, with 14 infantry, 1 artillery. Took Rhodesia and Union of South Africa for free with a tank blitz. Took Northwestern back with a tank blitz. Took French Equatorial and Italian East for free. Took Libya, killing a tank, no units lost. Took back Trans, killing 1, no units lost. Failed Archangel. Very nice. Losing an infantry, killing 1. Took back Southern Europe, no units lost. And then France, which was a bit of a miracle result here. Yes, my artillery tank held on. I lost the artillery, killing 3 infantry, 1 fighter. Very, very nice result there for UK. I was not expecting that. Apparently that was a roughly more than 1% result, which, yep, I definitely believe that. That's brutal. For Germany there. That's the difference of 12 IPC there. Germany loses out on 2 infantry. And of course lost the fighter and 3 infantry. That was very, very painful. Took back Bello, losing an infantry, and then took West Russia, stacking it. No units lost. Alright. Yeah. Germany lost a fighter there, very nice. Gives Allies more freedom for their fleet movement. Okay, well, the plan for UK is 5 infantry, 1 artillery, 1 tank, and a fighter. Take French Equator. What am I talking about? French Indochina, man. Blitz Northwestern, or put a guy there, and take Baltic and Finland. Attack Transjordan and Ukraine. Help Russia and Kazakh. And dead zone Burma because Japan could try and stack it next round. Unlikely. I think there's a workaround. I think allies can hold both Moscow and India at the same time. I don't think it's too much of a hassle. Alright. Take Baltic and Northwestern. Take Finland. Attack Ukraine. Attack Trans. That should be it. Good luck to the United Kingdom here. Oh, very nice. Perfect round for the UK. Yes, I can move my fleet here. I'm fine if Germany wants to take that risk. And then a cruiser transport here. Japan could send the lone bomber at it, but there's a 50-50 chance I kill his bomber. And then I expect US to move their destroyer up. And take Norway. And then it will be a 3 fighters, 1 bomber against this. Which we're fine with taking, because the potential to kill more German planes is there, for sure. So I'm going to have 7, 2, and 1 with 3 fighters. I don't want to move anyone forward, because I need as much pressure on Burma as possible. Alright, UK's making a lot of money despite the majority of Africa gone. Very nice. Fighter, tank, artillery, infantry. The rest into the UK. Yeah, if Japan goes for this and gets a top result killing all my planes, I think they can still stack Burma and get India. I don't know, maybe it's a bit dicey, but I don't know if we'd be able to hold both if Japan gets a top result there. The average is no one has anything left, but Japan loses out on 10 extra IPC. Alright. Yep. 6v6 Germans. $39 IPC, very nice for the UK there. Alright, that's the end of UK round 4, and I'll be back with UK round 5. Alright, welcome back to UK round 5. 9 infantry, 1 artillery, and a bomber for Japan. 3 infantry to Manchuria, and the rest into Japan itself. Took Burma for 3. Took back French Indochina Thailand, losing an infantry. Wiped out Vologda, killing 1 artillery, 2 infantry, losing an infantry. That was a very good result there. I think Russia did trade a little too heavy there. But yeah, too late now. And took back Novo, killing an infantry, no units lost. Yes, Japan is keeping their planes in range of West Russia and Season 5. He also went down to 36, which is interesting. I was thinking I might need to buy a destroyer, but it looks like the US have most of their planes here to dead zone it. Yeah, in fact, that's the vast majority of their planes dead zoning 34, in fact. I can read math. I can definitely read math. So yeah, I don't need to worry about a destroyer buy. US with a transport 8 infantry, fighter and artillery. All on the eastern coast as usual. Took Norway for 3. Attacked southern Europe, killing 2, losing 2. And then attacked Libya, killing 2, losing 2. Took French Equatorial and Union, losing an infantry. Union. That was a pretty rough round for US there. Failed 2 trades, so that's a little painful. Definitely is a little painful, but Germany did not send any defense here, so US gets freebies now. 3 freebies. Yeah, and continues with the Medshuk. Yep. This is the emptiest I've seen Western United States. Normally I like to leave some units here just to cover, just in case. Or buy the occasional tank. But I guess Gala is not afraid of that. But if Japan does take it, you know, that's 2 rounds of US losing this income. So I normally do like to cover that when I can. Uh, 4 artilleries and 2 infantry for Russia. All into Moscow. And then traded back Novo and Vologda, losing an infantry in Vologda. Yep, so this artillery buy is to try and dead zone West Russia and the Caucasus. If Axis did commit to the Caucasus. But I think currently the 75% if there's no additional Japanese planes, but yeah, those planes are definitely moving there. Uh, 11 more infantry and another fighter for Germany. This Wombat here seems to be pretty what do I say? Has a very interesting fascination for fighters. Well, for Air Force with Germany. This is the most air I've seen a Germany buy in a KGF. So we'll see if that bites them up the backside or not. But I understand the purchase. Because Germany attacked Season 3 and they lost the bomber. So they bought a replacement plane. I understand that. I do agree with that. If you're going to attack a sea zone and you think you're going to lose a plane, buy a new one. That's completely fair, I think. Blitzed Archangel. Took the Caucasus for free. Yeah, lost the bomber, killing 2 transports, a cruiser and a destroyer. Took Ukraine back, killing the artillery, no units lost. Took Baltic States, losing an infantry. Took back Northwestern, losing an infantry. And then took, stacked France. Killing the tank, no units lost. So we thought Axis were going to stack the Caucasus, but the far better move is to stay in West Russia in a Kiel, Germany, and just hold both of these important tiles. Keep the allies out of the north from flooding in to the center of the board, and keep Russia pinned. That's what last game on Team Axis, that's what the Axis did that game. But we pinned Russia and we dead zoned Karelia and held it for a couple turns as well. Yeah, this is the correct move, I do agree. If Germany did commit to the Caucasus, I think allies would just quickly flood through the north. And we wouldn't have to worry about the VC attempt that much, even though Japan's not really going for an expansion game. But I think Japan will go here on their turn. Go capture these territories. Alright. So, for the UK, 6 infantry. Transport and a carrier. It's tempting as the UK to stay in 5 and trade both, even with both Axis air forces on it. Because in theory, if Japan attacks the fleet, they can't hold West Russia, because Russia would have a 75%. But on the other hand, Russia would lose everything they have to clear it. And Russia can't recover after such a heavy loss. Without allies funneling in the center of the board, there isn't an option for us to do that just yet. So I'm going to choose to back off to season 6 or 8 and just trade Northwestern. Probably 6. I think I will stay in 6 so all my planes in season 6 can reach Moscow if needed. Or planes in Moscow can reach season 6 in my fleet. And I want to buy another carrier, so next round I have a little more freedom to move into 5. Because I'm not that scared if Japan wants to try against my fleet. When I have 4 fighters defending my fleet. Yeah. Alright. So yes, getting another transport as well, because obviously I lost my other one in season 3. And 3 for India and 3 for United Kingdom. So infantry bomber, take Egypt for free. Obviously I'm going to go clear this, and I'm actually going to blitz and kill this unit. Or try to kill it, I should say. So that I can deny Japan taking Kazakh on the next turn. Just helping Russia out a bit. I'm going to trade this for Russia as well. Me taking Egypt helps dead zone 34, because then there's 1, 2, 3 landing spots for the American planes. So Japan can't just cross over and take these 2 territories and would be relatively safe. Because I'm not taking Egypt, so I will take Egypt. It's a fairly obvious move as well. Do want the money. Yeah, I think that'll be it for combat. I'm just going to plan on shucking the rest of the units into Norway. Also, myself staying in season 6 also allows me to trade Archangel for Russia as well if it's deemed necessary. Yep, strong, strong, and strong. What I'd like to see. Good luck to the UK. Okay, that's like the 3rd time today that my bomber has failed. The first hit in the first round. Excellent. Right, hopefully I do kill this unit. If I can't have Burma out, I would like to kill this for Russia. Oh, I take it. Nice. Yeah, Burma's annoying. I want this fighter here and then this fighter here and then bring the rest back. I'm tempted to leave my tank here just to apply... Just to allow me to trade with this tank in this area, I think. I will retreat one guy. This sub will move back down to 50. Or I guess maybe I should stay in range of 64. It just stops here. Yeah, I guess I should do that. Yeah, I'll stay in range of 64. So there's no just a lone transport takes Alaska. They would have to commit at least the destroyer. Right, I'm pretty happy with that round there. It sucks about not killing the unit in Burma. But these two were flawless. I'm very happy with that. That is a little costly losing these tanks, but anything to help Russia out, it is necessary. I'm going to see Japan's odds on India, so I can see how many units I can move forward. I mean, if it would need to be enough here. Stop this. I don't know, maybe since I failed Burma, does Japan stack Burma and go for Hawaii? That's kind of interesting. I'm kind of tempted to... Kind of interesting. Might leave one guy. Might bring that tank down. Russia should only be trading Vologda and Caucasus on their turn. They have two fighters for that. Yeah, I'll bring the tank back because I want to try dead zone it from some nonsense stack. It's now available to Japan. But there's so many US planes in range, I don't think I'm too worried. Yep, I think I'm happy with this. I'm just going to leave one guy here. Yeah, keep everything in India. I can still trade Caucasus or Russia on the next turn. Yeah, I just don't want that. Yeah, that's a very unfortunate loss. I guess I should have overcommitted, but the bomber still missed in the first round, so it probably didn't matter anyway. But yeah, I don't know. There is a play where Axis stacks 36 and 62 and just shuck directly into Burma, and eventually they'll get India from me. I hope he doesn't go for that, because that's going to be pretty effective here. So I don't think Russia can actually save. They would have to blitz their tanks out. One, two, three, four. Well, they can't. Yeah, I'm gonna do it for a strafe. Yeah, I have to go for a strong strafe here. These planes are actually reserved for West Russia, so they don't have much, I don't think. I would have to strafe it. Alright, that'll do. If Germany wants to go for my fleet, it's completely safe. Well, it's not completely safe. I have a 78 to hold. Barely attack a profit, it's 0.9. If Japan wants to go sack a bomber for it, then US can just send a battleship to help me out. But yeah, that'll do for the UK. Yeah, as long as this guy's out of range of that destroyer. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah. In range of Alaska. I think I'm not messing this up. Yeah, entire fleet is here with the double carrier. Yep, still a full transport load of 3. Take that. Pretty crappy money for the UK to make, but I'll take it. Africa should be solved relatively soon. Yeah. Yeah, I don't see Japan stacking this. Pretty big strafe. It looks like Japan might stack Xinjiang. They can trade this pretty effectively. I do want... Yeah. Yeah, Russia should probably just start trading Vologda and only the Caucasus. I'll try and trade Caucasus for Russia, so Russia can just focus on Vologda. I think Japan will actually move a guy across. I would do that. And take this and this. Alright. After UK's turn, a slight IPC lead. I do think it's slightly Axis favoured still, this game. I really hope this Medshuk pulls off. Alright, that is the end of UK round 5. And I'll be back with UK round 6. Alright, welcome back to UK round 6. Go back to Japan 5 here. 8 infantry, 1 transport, 1 fighter. They're up to their 5th transport. Okay. Fighter transport 260. Very strange. I don't normally see Japan hanging around. These two sea zones, normally 61 and 36 are more ideal, unless Japan intends on holding Alaska again by sending an extra transport with 2 infantry and then going for Hawaii and pressuring US. That's interesting move for sure. Yeah, 3 infantry to Manchuria and 5 infantry to Japan. Bombed Moscow for 6. That's disgusting. That really is. The first bombing raid, max rolls. Took Alaska for 3, of course. Took Xinjiang for 3. Lost some infantry in Szechuan. Took Vologda. No units lost. And took Novo. No units lost. And stacked West Russia with their planes. Nine infantry and an industry for the US. Industry for Norway. And 9 infantry. 7 for Eastern and 2 for Western. Took Anglo-Egyptian Sudan. 3 took Rhodesia. 3 took Italy and Southern Europe for 3, and took Libya for 3. Yeah, the previous round, the German hitbacks were pretty insane, and US failed pretty much all their combats, so everything now was pretty much for free. Now, yeah, continue with the Medshuk here. Sent some units to Western to attempt to trade, unless Japan actually trades this instead. Uh, 5 infantry and repaired 3 on Moscow for the Russians. All deployed into Moscow, of course. Blitzed Archangel with a tank. Lost an infantry artillery in Vologda, and then killed an infantry, retreating with infantry, 2 artilleries, and a fighter. No units lost. Yeah, I mean, that's lucky that, in my opinion, this is lucky that Russia did not conquer. I think Russia's trading a bit too hard. Vologda is pretty unfortunate, considering what Russia actually sent, so that's just very unfortunate. But I think Russia needs to stop trading Novo here. It's only worth 1 point. Reserve training for West Russia, Kazakh, and Vologda. Ideally, just 1 territory. 2 if Russia can handle it. But the Axis hitbacks are pretty insane at the moment. 7 infantry, 5 artillery for the Germans. 5 and 5 to Berlin and 2 to Karelia. Blitzed Archangel back. Took Rhodesia. Artillery versus infantry, and actually won. Took the Caucasus, Southern Europe, Italy. No units lost, and lost an infantry in Western. Yeah, a lot of combat, but no hitbacks. We kind of need them as the allies here. That's why we're trading Germany down. That's why US is committed to the Medshuk. Why I'm trading, you know, this area to trade Germany down, kill anything that Germany sends, and then get hitbacks. But if that's not going to happen, and the opposite occurs, like with the US turn getting diced, well, not diced, but getting brutalized by the German hitbacks, Germany doesn't really die. They just stay strong, which is what we don't want. The Germany stacked Italy, the Caucasus, and Karelia. Now, this is an interesting move. This allows Germany to trade forward to the max and stop UK trading for Russia. I can't really do anything. The Axis could go for a VC play and go for India pressure. Yeah, the Caucasus stack from Axis does pretty much kill India. Pretty much useless now, so I'm just gonna have to trade Burma every turn and leave a unit in Persia every turn. If Germany doesn't trade Persia, then I can actually trade Kazakh or Russia. Alright, well, with the UK, 8 infantry, 1 artillery as the buy. Going to take France, Northwestern, Burma, and we're going to stack Finland this turn. And yeah, US needs to start getting their transports in order. increasing their transport loads and start shucking a bunch into Finland now, I think. Now that Axis have committed to, or Germany has committed to Caucasus for at least this turn, we need to start unloading loads of units into Finland. To Prussia, Karelia. Yep, that'll be the bite. The idea is to leave a lone carrier for the UK here with 2 fighters on it, because that will survive. That will suffice against the lone Japanese bomber. The rest of my fleet will move into 3. Two infantry and a bomber here. The sub is going to move down towards 35 and hopefully make it across. Could leave it in 53 instead. To make sure that Japan has to commit a transport to 64. A boat, I mean, to protect the transport, just in case Japan does want to commit an extra 2 infantry for Alaska to potentially stop US taking it back. Yeah, I think that's it, right? This is like mandatory to take. If I somehow fail this, I'm going to have to sack a plane for it. Good luck to the UK. Alright, no kill like overkill, I'll definitely take that. I used all my dice up in that attack. I'm gonna fail Burma now. Oh my. I don't know what's with today, but my Air Force has been trash. 3 rounds in a row. Okay, failed Burma. Oh, ridiculous. Yeah, this is it's pretty bad. Am I worried? Not really. I think just the US battleship alone is enough to withstand against the... Might send 1 plane. Very unfortunate. We're going to stack here regardless of odds. There should be enough allied units here anyway. I don't expect Germany to send 6 fighters, 6 infantry and a tank after this allied stack. I don't see it. Yep. Alright, that's the end of UK round 6, and we'll be back with UK round 7. Right, welcome back to UK round 7. 8 infantry, 2 fighters for Japan. 2 fighters to Sea Zone 62 with 3 infantry to Manchuria and the rest into Japan mainland. Bombed Moscow for 5. Losing a bomber, so we'll take that, but that's still a pretty devastating high roll. Especially with Russia completely surrounded and starved of income. Took Hawaii, no units lost, and took Kazakh, no units lost. So this is an interesting route Japan's taken. They're going for a North China and Siberia route, which I've not seen before. Normally, Japan sticks to Zone 61, applying as much pressure to India at the same time, but this also works. Yep, so they've taken Hawaii. They might go for Alaska, or they'll just come down and take Oceania here. I'm going to leave my guys in Western, and I'm not going to move to Eastern because that gives Japan a very juicy target to wipe out. And Japan sent planes to the Caucasus and Karelia. They have a pretty big stack brewing in China now. It's getting a little concerning. US with a transport, 8 infantry, 1 artillery and a fighter. 2 infantry and a fighter to Western. Infantry artillery to Norway. 5 infantry to Eastern with a transport in 11. Took Italian East. Took Alaska. 3. Took Rhodesia, killing the unit. Taking the territories, that's very nice. I did send my guy there just in case the 1 in 3 happened and Germany got another hit back. But we'll definitely take that. And took Southern Europe, killing 1, losing 1. And stacked Finland with me. Three infantry for Russia with preparing 3 on Moscow. And took Vologda, killing 1, losing nothing. So, nice. It's 4 more guys, but that's unlikely to be that generous because Japan will most likely bomb Moscow again. "16 infantry for Germany." Now, looking at the board state right now, this is like very bad for the Allies here. 16 infantry purchase. And Germany have France, Karelia, and Caucasus stacked. That's a very concerning board state for the Allies. I would say losing, definitely. Failed Southern Europe, so I think that's Germany's first failed trade, so we'll take that. Yeah, tried one-to-oneing it as well. Really. Yeah, took France, killing 2, losing nothing, and then took Northwestern, killing 2, losing nothing. So a mostly perfect round for Germany, besides failing that that one-on-one trade that Germany did attempt and failed. So they got punished for it for not overcommitting. Finally, yeah, stack Caucasus, Karelia, and France. I'm thinking currently just 9 infantry and a fighter for UK. I'm gonna save the 3. What do I start on? 40. I'm going to save the 3 because on a good day I'm only gonna get 34 IPC next 35 IPC next round. Because of the Allies' fleet configuration and the Axis placement of their air force, I can't move from Sea Zone 3. And I can't stay in Sea Zone 8. I don't think I can. No, because the Germans have a carrier drop for it, and Japan has a small air force to apply pressure as well. So I can't even move into Sea Zone 5. There's no play that allows me to risk either fleet to pull that off, because the Germany gets way too much of a juicy battle on 3. And Japan has all their planes in range of 5. So yeah, there's no winning here for the Allies. I just have to stay in 3 and shuck. That's literally all I can do. This is pretty bad, because I want to be trading as much as I can with Germany, and yeah, I'm forced to stack 3 for the Finchuck. So well played on the Axis for their air force placement. It looks like this Medshuck is not working. Sometimes it's just best to just allies to do complete Finchuck, because I'm pretty confident if US just went for Finchuck with myself, this Caucasus stack would not exist. I think, at the very least, Russia would have very, very good odds, at least 90% to wipe Caucasus odds if they tried doing both. Yeah, that is what I think. The only battle I can do is Burma and Kazakh. Alright, let's get on with it. My submarine. Well, if I go anywhere up north, I get trapped. Unless I go here. This guy's gonna come down. I will actually move here, I think. If I go to 64, this destroyer goes to 59 and my sub gets trapped. So 57 is probably the best spot for it. If I try going down, this destroyer is naturally going to move down here with the rest of the fleet, so I'm just going to move here. Keep applying a pressure to the 64 and pressure to the 60. I'm going to commit 1 infantry, 1 bomber. Committing 2 infantry worked out so well last time. And an infantry, 3 fighters. I think I'm tempted to commit 1 tank. That will be it for the UK. Yeah, it's such a waste that I can't trade anything. It just isn't possible. Unless US moves into 8. Like, how would we pull that off? It's what stops Japan just sacking themselves off to weaken the fleet. Yeah, it just doesn't work. I want to move into 5, but I have to wait for US to get more fleet up to 3. That's a pretty bad US shuck as well. That's not good at all. Because what I want to do is use all my men to trade Germany down, and US gets fully preserved. So the US has a massive stack, and UK has nothing because they've been trading down Germany. I don't want to be double stacking with US, because what that does is it instead of it just being a full whack from the US, it's a 1-2 punch from myself and the US, which means it's far more likely that either myself or the US get diced in a 1-2 attack. Ideally, I want to trade myself down with Germany, but I can't even do it this round. So. Good luck to the United Kingdom. Oh, beautiful. Great success there. Why, of course. Do Axis stack? Oh, man. No. Russia can trade it. There's no way Japan can stack that. No. Okay. Very unfortunate. But at least the units are dead. I think Russia can trade it before Axis have any ideas of shifting a bunch of Japanese or shifting a bunch of Germans onto the Orange territory, and then Japan stacks it. We don't want that at all. I think regardless of the German odds on this, we will just be stacking it. End of story. There's no ifs or buts about it. Yeah. Because if Germany has odds for whatever reason on this, I've not calculated, so I have no idea. I wouldn't think they do. They don't have much offensive power besides their planes. Do I need all my planes in... Do I need my planes in 3? Yeah. I think I'll leave 3 planes. We could probably expect that Japanese plane to move to France. We're at the Axis mercy at the moment. Yeah, alright. That's it for UK. 35 income, so hopefully I can afford at least 1 plane next round. Yeah, US might as well continue med-shucking at this point. It's not doing much damage to Germany though. They have 2 massive stacks. I mean, they have 4 stacks. Like, this is Germany. It's incredibly strong. Fight, I killed Germany. So, yeah. Yeah, 1 guy is blocking. Okay. Yeah, 2 fighters and a carrier. Good stuff. Right, that is the end of UK round 7, and I'll be back with UK round 8. Right, welcome back to UK round 8. Go back to Japan 7 with 9 infantry, 2 fighters. 2 fighters to Season 62. 3 infantry to Manchuria and 6 infantry to Japan. Took New Zealand. 4-3. Took Burma, no units lost. And took Vologda, losing an infantry. Sent planes to stack Caucasus. To assist the Germans, of course. And yep, continues to move up with little small stack from Japan in China. But they're going to threaten to cross now. Yep. But I should buy a blocker there, just in case. Transport, artillery, 8 infantry, and a fighter for the US. Transport to 11. 7 infantry, 1 fighter to Eastern, and 2, well, an infantry artillery to Norway. Sent a transport to Finland. Bombed Karelia for 4. And took Italy undefended. Yeah, sent some more units to C-Zone 2 here. The Russians with 4 infantry and repaired 1 on Moscow. All infantry into Moscow, of course. Attacked Archangel, taking it, losing an infantry. And then 1 West Russia, killing an infantry. No units lost. Uh, 12 infantry for the Germans. 2 to Karelia and 4 to Berlin. Took Southern Europe for 3. Took West Russia back, killing 2, losing 1. Failed Persia, killing an infantry, losing 1. Took Italy, no units lost. And sent a stack to Kazakh. And of course, continued to stack Karelia and sent a small stack into Baltic states. Alright, well, this might be the final round for the Allies here. This is a pretty dire situation for the Allies. Germany is incredibly strong. For a KGF. Definitely. Yeah, this has not worked at all for the Allies. And Germany stacking Kazakh, giving up the Caucasus, so that Japan can then stack Kazakh directly bordering Moscow. It's just I think the Axis position is just way too strong here. So I have a choice with UK to hit France, Berlin, Baltic states, or Karelia, and pray that I get an outstanding result so the US can follow up either France or Karelia, most likely. Yeah, this is yeah, this is just too much for the Allies here. So yeah, I don't really have much to say because I think we're just losing very hard. Yeah, very well played to the Axis here. Very strong. I guess early game the Allies were just a little bit too passive in the Atlantic, and it's just allowed Germany to be super strong like this. Japan getting their planes in range of Med and Atlantic and supporting Germany whenever they can is just it's just been too much. Yeah. There's a constant VC threat as well. But this is a finishing move, definitely. If Japan can get this and builds an IC, for example, it's just a losing game, I do think. Let's have a see. I'll buy a destroyer for India with 5 infantry, 3 artilleries. And I think I will hit Karelia. I've not calculated my odds. I don't think I've got anywhere like near chances. I wouldn't be surprised if I get wiped out in the first round. But yeah, I don't think there's much the Allies can do here. I think the game is over. Yeah, Axis have a very big AP lead. Even if I just shucked. Yeah, I think, especially in a kill Germany, Germany's just way too strong. So let's just roll the dice on Karelia, and it might give the US an option. But even if I get like an outstanding result, the Axis can easily just reinforce. Yeah, Germany is just unbreakable. I suppose I could hit Baltic states. That attack's probably the best I have. Yeah, 5 infantry, 1 tank, bombard with 6 fighters. Seven fighters, actually. But it doesn't really achieve much. So yeah, this will be the buy for the UK. Do I even need to buy a blocker? I mean, I don't have to, because US is dead zoning 34. But Japan could just go to 32 instead. And take Madagascar. Yeah, like even if... Yeah, I have to do something here. I don't even think... The YOLO on Berlin doesn't work because the US has nothing. There's no follow-up from the US. They're US just weren't prepared to do a Finland shuck. I don't think the med shot worked at all in this game. Yeah, like it's just 1 transport. Even if I get an outstanding result, that's 6 Japanese planes, fighters, and a bomber. And my attack's pretty weak as well. Yeah. If I don't do anything here, this just gets here, and then we just don't break. We just don't break Karelia for the next like 3 more turns, I would guess. Like, it's just too much. I think it's just too much for the Allies. Yep, right. I'll buy a destroyer. I don't want him taking Madagascar for free. I think the game's just going to end this round anyway. UK just needs a miracle. Like, it's just a miracle result here. But I have nothing for attack power. Really. I'm gonna get shredded in the first round. Alright, let's see what the dice do here. Good luck to the UK. Oh, I was gonna say, you know, that's a very bad rolling, but then Max rolled the fighters. Yeah. Yeah, my fleet just gets destroyed, I think. Yeah, I lose all my planes, like, that's just... I'm gonna move here. Move this sub here. Move my fleet in here. Japan has the option to try wipe out 3 or my fleet. Most likely my fleet. Yep, that's it. So, yeah, there's no way this makes it. Yeah. Alright, well, I'll be back with UK round 9. Right, that is the end of this game here. Axis victory. With an allied forfeit. So yeah, on my turn, I did hit Karelia with everything I had. Got completely wiped out. Japan with a destroyer, 8 infantry, bomber, artillery. I took... Oh, actually failed Eastern. Losing an infantry, artillery. Killing 2 infantry. Took Burma back, killing 2 units, losing 1. Took Archangel back, killing an infantry, losing 1. Wiped out my fleet, losing 3 fighters. Yep. Of course, reinforced Karelia. And, of course, stacked Kazakh. Yeah. Losing that fleet is just game ending anyway, but allies were kind of forced into an all-in situation, because it was a very, very dire, very, very decisive positioning from Axis. So it looks like US went in and hit Karelia. They bought 7 infantry, 4 artillery, and a fighter. Did not finish their turn. Fair enough. Looks like they hit with everything they had and didn't even scratch the German fighters. So yeah. Yeah, and very, very firm, after that round, very firm Axis lead. Alright, well, yeah, that is GG and well played to Flat Tops here. Hitch and Steiner. Very well played from them. Yeah, I mean, this was a kill Germany, and this was a very, very strong Germany despite that. So, very well played to Germany here. I'm actually not too sure what went wrong. I guess it must have been a problem with the Allied early aggression. But I did view my couple early rounds in editing, and I was trading as much as I could for Russia. I did lose a fighter in an air raid. I had a couple good turns with flawless results on trades against both Japan and Germany. You know, trading for Russia. But I guess it just wasn't enough. So yeah, I'm not really sure what really went wrong. I guess the med shuck was the wrong play here. Normally you can pull it off sometimes. The med and then of course season 3 shucking. But I guess in this case it would have been slightly better for the US to all in Finland. Finland shucking. Because it might prevented Germany stacking Caucasus. Or even stacking both Karelia and West Russia. Maybe there was an opportunity on that turn that Germany stacked West Russia. I might have had odds. I didn't check it because I didn't see the real point in me hitting. at that time. It's either that or it completely went underneath my radar. Maybe that was the turn where I should have taken the risk to try get at the German fighters in Karelia. I think they were in there on that turn that they stacked. But yeah, Germany with a France, Karelia, and West Russia stack is a very, very strong position for Germany. Japan gets in their air involved as soon as possible. Yeah, very well played. Made it very difficult and made me have to really think whether I was going to risk my fleet in 5. There was a 1-2 punch, and with the early German air investment, it just became a little too risky for me to move in with the 1-2 punch because the Norway IC from the US wasn't actually built until round 5, I want to say. So it's a little late. Earliest you can get it is round 4, I think. I don't know. Maybe the timings were off. I'm not sure. But yeah, we saw it coming. This after Germany gave up Caucasus and stacked Kazakh with their units, it's very, very Axis favored. If Japan's gonna stack Kazakh and we've made 0 progress on either Karelia or France, Axis don't even need to go for India. Germany stacking Caucasus kind of makes India a little redundant for the Allies anyway, but if Japan then stacks it, it's even more so. Yeah. Long game, we were not going to win this, so we felt like we needed to take a risk on the all-in on Karelia. I had a choice, Karelia, Germany or France. I could have gone Baltic states, but even then that doesn't really achieve much. But I guess that was my best attack. Maybe I could have got a insane result, but we will never know. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm not too sure. I think Axis just played very well here. I'm not too sure what else the Allies messed up on. Yeah, GG and well played to flat tops. It was a good game, of course it was. Yeah. Alright. As always, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate your time, and I'll catch you in the next one.